Marie Antoinette is one of history's most infamous queens. Infamous for her over-the-top spending, her alleged snobbishness, and for being the wife of King Louis XVI of France. She was also, according to some, the mistress of one particular Swedish nobleman named Axel von Fersen. And right now, we are going to travel back in time to France just before the Revolution to learn all about Queen Marie Antoinette. Although the marriage was a political one, it wasn't a love match. However, all that changed when Marie Antoinette met the dashing young Axel von Fersen. Axel was a handsome Swede who served as an officer in the French army. He had been sent to France by his royal parents, the King and Queen of Sweden, to ensure that their daughter, who was also the niece of the French king, received a proper French education. Besides, the French people knew about the plot to kill the Swedish royals, and it just made them hate Marie Antoinette more. Eventually, she was forced to fire Axel from his position in the royal court and banish him from France. But he ended up doing so much more than that. The scandal had tarnished the image of the French monarchy beyond repair. And when the revolution came, Marie Antoinette and her husband, Louis XVI, were thrown in prison and executed by the guillotine. Some historians believe that if it hadn't been for her relationship with Axel von Fersen, Marie Antoinette might have survived the revolution. After all, the revolutionaries wouldn't have hated her so much if she hadn't been involved in such a massive scandal. How much of this is true? Let's find out. Was the damage done too much? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. It's me. And when the people of Paris got wind of it, they were furious. You see, the French people already had a low opinion of their queen. They thought she was out of touch, that she spent too much money and that she had a nasty attitude. Discovering that she was having a secret affair with a member of her own court did undo much to improve her public image. Marie Antoinette was only 14 years old when she arrived in France from Austria to marry the future Louis XVI. It started innocently enough, with long walks around the palace gardens, and innocent enough flirtations. But soon the two were meeting in secret and exchanging love letters. The scandal would have been bad enough if it had stayed between them, but it didn't. Soon rumors were flying all over Paris and the countryside that the young queen was having a torrid love affair with this Swedish nobleman, who spent money like it was no object and who betrayed her husband and the crown for a little bit of fun. So how did the royals try to stop this scandal? Well, they tried to keep it under wraps, obviously, but that didn't work. They tried to ship him off to Sweden, but then he came back to France and the scandal started anew. They even tried to have the king and queen of Sweden assassinated, but that didn't work either. As you can imagine, this did not reflect well on the French monarchy. In fact, it practically became a full-blown scandal. In fact, it made her seem like the worst kind of French noblewoman, the kind who looked down on the commoners. By this point, Axel had become a French citizen, and as such, it was impossible to extradite him back to Sweden. But by then, the damage was already done. What do you think? Would Marie Antoinette have survived the French Revolution if it had not been for her relationship with Axel von Fersen?